Per usual, everyone, this channel is for educational purposes only, is not intended as financial advice. We are at 100K.6 on BTC. We've been bearish really since all-time highs. We just continue to make lower lows and lower highs. That's the definition of a downtrend, at least on a lower time frame. So the traders are correct to be cautious on this setup Sunday. I think long-term holders still have evidence to not be worried about it. We'll take a look at both sides, but for the trading crowd, I think you still have to treat this like a potential interim top here for BTC, and you measure it. It gives you a 1618 somewhere around 93-ish, and that's the cloud. So to me, that's the downside you'd want to see if you want to maintain bearishness. The good news is for near-term bearishness is you obviously have geopolitical headline stuff going on, and that's going to swing price violently up or down. It looks like easier path right now is down, but you could just as easily get any headline for the positive side. I just don't think that's super likely in the near term. You've also got a bearish TK cross coming up here on the cloud, which is always a pay attention signal. It's that blue and orange line in the background there crossing. That'll cross today or tomorrow. So the good news is it's no longer wishy-washy in the near term. Definitely leaning bearish. I'd also say, as somebody who's looking to the future, the good news is if we get a bullish TK cross price above cloud, we know what to do. That's a great entry. I think this is going to be a time, not price thing. 93 is certainly the level. That's where the cloud likes. The cloud liked it back here on the Kijun as well, back here. But this is the cloud level. I could see us going that low. So I would trade that accordingly. I wouldn't be ultra long, turbo long alts. I wouldn't be knee deep in options. I would be hesitant on MSTR stuff until this clears. We don't have to go lower in the near term. It's just like that's what looks like where we're going. So I'd be careful. Now, if you want to eat that for 3 to 6 months, great. I think towards the end of the year, we still have a decent shot at doing something. Even in July, we could see something, and then cooling off August, September. We're in a seasonally weird period until Q4 at this point. I would just level set expectations here in the near term. So if BTC is down 10% or whatever it is in a couple days, alts are just going to get obliterated. And that's what we've seen. ETH, the level was 25 and now we're at 22. So again, this is easy because the re-entry on this is going to be bullish TK cross price above cloud. Cloud's already green. Assuming we bounce-ish around here, entry's obvious. It's just vanilla cloud stuff every time. The trick here is trying not to jump the gun on something 300 pages down the list, hoping that it will follow. I don't think we're quite there, in my opinion. That would be alt season type behavior. But ETH, even up here, still looks the strongest relative to everything else. Ripple continues to just look like nothing anybody should be trading. Mega chop. Sol has lost the range quicker than probably most people would expect. But again, the next step is easy. The hard part here is waiting and doing nothing. That's the hard part. Either you get a bottom pattern or a reversal something on candles or multiple candles, or you wait for the cloud trend stuff. That's it. There's nothing else to do down here. If you're buying lows, you're catching knives, fine. You could justify this. I hesitate to even talk about this because this is where people that's where their mind goes, right? They're like, oh, this has to be a falling wedge. It could be, but the buy for me is let's break 140 first, right? Let's print a low that doesn't keep going lower first. But yes, that is possible. I don't know how probable, but it is possible. And it's possible in a lot of alt charts that look like that. But the easiest trade for me is always going to be price above the cloud every single time. Most of these charts, if not all of them now, are just not there yet. SWE way down, right? And we can just go down this list. I don't think there's a single Tau was above, Link lower, Aave in the cloud, Curve lower, Monero is even in the cloud, LTC down, Ondo, Nulo, Say, Algo. None of these are where you want them to be. Just day after day after day, just shotgun selling, machine gun selling over and over and over again. That's not for me. I can understand your justification if you like that. It's just not for me. I like strength. Another one that's been looking stronger to watch is Say. Nothing I would touch here. I need to be perfectly clear. Nothing I would touch here. Again, you could justify this and you could say, okay, maybe there's something like this. Fine. And we have a neckline here. Fine. But what is it telling you? It's telling you what the cloud is telling you. Wait for price above cloud. There's just nothing to do here. There's nothing to do on most of these charts for me. So alts across the board, not it. Doge, certainly not it. We can just keep going. Pepe down, huge falling wedge there. I just think it's going to take time. It's going to take lots of time. Sol BTC, new lows. That's ugly. ETH BTC, something else to watch. Anything that's teasing a breakout here is on my watch list, but alts are going to need a catalyst. Whatever this is, current environment, clearly not it. Clearly not it. If we just go to the dominance chart, that's a new high in dominance. What else is there to say? Every low on dominance has reversed for the past 2 years. Okay, like what else is there to say? There's nothing else to say. Clearly, if alt season was here or around the corner, you would see dominance tipping lower. You're not. So for the investors, the long-term holders, one reason you like this dip and you buy this dip is because we still have theoretically 100 or so days left in the current cycle based on what we've seen previously. So again, that would bring us into Q4-ish. Bitcoin treasuries that we're seeing, certainly not beginning of the cycle. You know, you didn't see that when FTX blew up, right? You see that at the end. You see that when everybody is sure that things are going up. I don't think it's immediately bearish, but eventually all of the nonsense treasuries that we'll be buying will have bought, and that will probably be closer to Q4. You've also got more crypto IPOs, Circle, many yet to come. Again, that's probably going to be closer to Q4. If we want to be positive and think to why we should still be holding in the long-term side, this would be one of the reasons, along with IPOs and Bitcoin treasuries. Looking at ETF flows, still positive, and we can make all the hypothesis about paper Bitcoin we want, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. People are selling and people are buying, and they're buying a lot of the ETF. Price is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. If anything, it tells me, well, obviously, this isn't net long money coming in, clearly, or we would be higher. Or more people are selling on the back of this buying. That's it. I wouldn't assume this is some paper buying scheme, some mega conspiracy against the corn. I wouldn't assume that. Another reason why you want to be in this market still for BTC would be global liquidity. Not alts, not yet. Again, that's dominance. Look at dominance, right? Like, what is there? You want to be short this. That's what you're telling me. You want to be short this trend. Like, okay, go for it. I would not short this. Not yet. But that's what you're saying if you're in alts right now. But looking at global liquidity without an offset, clearly liquidity is going higher, Bitcoin's going lower. So there's a divergence there. I'd call that a bullish divergence. I don't think this chart, the green, is tipping lower anytime soon. We'll see what the dollar is tomorrow. We'll see what gold is tomorrow. But I have a very hard time thinking, okay, this is it. For both liquidity and BTC, based on that, this is the offset, which everybody's looking at. 90, 75, 120, whatever. It doesn't matter. Pick one. Who cares, right? Higher. That's the point of this chart. I wouldn't look at it on an ultra granular level where we're measuring each day, each undulation up and down. What is the general trend here? The general trend is higher. It's the same thing with dominance. It's up and to the right. Gold also up and to the right. Kind of struggling here at all-time highs. You want gold to be bullish. Gold will follow liquidity. So if liquidity is higher, gold will go higher. If gold breaks out in Q3, that's all the more reason to continue to hold on for Q4 because Bitcoin typically follows gold with a lag. Gold still looks outstanding to me, even though it's had a bunch of red days up here. Virtually nothing looks like this on the crypto side, if anything, right? So it would make sense to me for Bitcoin to pause, maybe put in a right shoulder, maybe chop around in the cloud, maybe 93, maybe not. I just still don't think there's anything you can trade here with conviction. Which side of this do you like? Are you cycle over? I'm out of here? That's fine. I can understand that. I get that from some people, especially if you've been here since 2022. I get it, but I still think we have some left in us here towards Q4. This would be an inverted head and shoulders that measures to 130, 150. The issue is something else to think about, is another 30% drawdown recoverable? I think that would be tough. That would bring us, I don't know, maybe new lows. It would be tough. It would be very tough to justify that the cycle is still in existence if we start drifting far below the daily cloud. I can see us just, doing a bunch of nothing for 3 months and then figuring out what's going on in Q4. But if we start crushing 80 and 70, then yeah, that's going to be tough to justify. The COD data, I think, is delayed from last week because Thursday was a holiday, or it's just unchanged. It's hard for me to tell there, but no new updates on that. There's also the alternative cloud that I've been watching give you a warning signal a couple days ago at this point. Something else to watch that I'm watching. It's basically the 1050 moving average, but this thing has been very good. Something you want to watch for coming up is just vanilla. Is it above the cloud or not? That's it. And yeah, you can get fake outs with anything, okay? But if we spend a couple months, a couple weeks below the cloud here on this one, and then we pop back above, it should be pretty bullish. One thing to watch for this week in Legacy, what does Legacy look like? What does Legacy do? What does the S&P do? What do the Qs do? Do people go hyper defensive towards healthcare, towards energy? Do we just chop around? This looks, in a vacuum, danger of spilling lower. You're potentially tripping a Williams fractal there at 59.30. Just something to watch. And you, of course, have a mega downside with no real supports here on the cloud till like 5,500 if we went straight down. So yeah, the market here can definitely give some back. But similar to ETHBTC, what I think is interesting is the relative value stuff. Not that this has to bounce, but this is IWM against the SPY. It's the same conversation with ETHBTC or Mag7 versus low caps. At some point, it's just going to be harder to keep pushing this stuff up. So a divergence to watch for this week would be, okay, if the SPY sells off, what does low caps do? Is there some dispersion there between higher market cap companies and lower market cap companies? And something else to watch for on BTC is certainly lower time frame, 6 hour, 12 hour. This is all just chop, right? There's just nothing. 6 hours still certainly bearish, had been fairly clean on the run up. But any decently high time frame, 6, 8, 12, that starts to look better, I'm all about it. But here, this is just mega ultra headline shop, and we will see what the week brings us. So not really much to speak of here still, and I would sit tight because we might be in for a long Q3, which honestly helps set us up for a better Q4. That's all I got for this one. Give me a like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.